Yay! Welcome to another episode of the Planet Zoo series. Too excited to talk, apparently. But it's finally released. Full release. We're going to be continuing through the career. If you're interested in the first stage of the career, I have that from the beta. So you can find that. I'll just have it all in the same playlist. But we're going to be continuing off with the next stage, which is the Madagascan Simian Conservation Project. So let's go ahead and get started. I did just play through the first stage of the career again to see how much was different from the early access version, but it overall was pretty similar. There were a couple small changes. More stuff was available to look at, and some of the habitats were a little different, but it wasn't enough that I felt like I should do a whole new episode for it. So
Welcome to Madagascar. It's quite the change of scenery from dreary old England, huh? Apart from the weather, I suppose. They don't call these places rainforests for nothing. The zoo you'll be working in is an ape sanctuary, where we're doing vitally important conservation work. Not just for apes, but for all kinds of species. But apes, well, apes are some of the closest relatives to humans there are. And yet, the way the world treats them is like, well, very much like some of us treat our actual relatives. Anyway, that's why I'm determined that our operation here does some good. If we can all leave some part of the world in a better state than we found it, we'll have lived lives worth living. And speaking of states, I have a horrible feeling I left the house in the right one. When I get back, I expect my life won't be worth living at all.
everything looks so cool. Look at the hanging baskets with flowers in them.
What do you think of Madagascar then? Bit warm for my taste, to be honest. Anyway, this is Bernie's primate sanctuary. It's not just primates though. We've got all sorts of animals. So why don't we go and have a look at some of them, eh?
Yes.
We'll start by taking a look at the red-ruffed lemurs. They're the ones that look like they should be in a Shakespeare play. Come on, let's head over to them.
Well, give me control and I will. Let's get up close to one of these guys. Nope.
Red-ruffed lemurs are found in the rainforests of Masoala. That's in northeast Madagascar. They can actually live anywhere from 15 up to 25 years. Fancy that, eh? Okay, when you're ready, let's go find our Bornean orangutans.
Alright, let's see, what else we got? Ooh, there's some weird stuff going on with this glass. That's alright then. Let's head off and check out whatever else she talked about. I was watching the lemur. It's too hard to actually listen to what she was saying.
The Bornean orangutan is such a marvellous creature.
Oh, there he
They're
is.
always a big favourite at any zoo they feature in. And they're also the
You
biggest
cheater.
tree-dwelling animal on the planet. Assuming you don't count any lions that got stuck up one. Oh, why don't you take a better look at them? Open up their information panel and go into the animal camera.
I'm ahead of you, lady. I got this. He's floating. He's a magic buddy. That's it. He looks too cool. We'll
Aren't they just incredible?
Yes. Let's go back through the roof. Good job, buddy.
When you're ready, let's go and have a look-see at some of our beautiful bonobos. They're quite the characters.
Yes, they are. Let's go over here.
Oh dear! It looks like we've arrived just in time. One of the habitat's barriers has
Oh,
collapsed.
collapsed.
And wouldn't you know it, one of the bonobos has made a run for it. We'll need to catch them. But before we do, we should box up the other bonobos to stop them escaping too.
Okay.
Select the habitat boundary to bring up the habitat information panel.
Okay. Eat them all. Voxel animals. Haha! We have someone escaping.
Now, we'll need a vet to recapture that escaped
There he
bonobo,
is.
but it seems our last one left to do some research in the wild. Not an ideal situation.
No.
So, we'll need to hire a replacement sharpish.
Yes.
Go into the zoo section and then into the staff management area.
Did you say a vet? Let's go find that bonobo.
You can find all of your staff in here, but there's
There
no
he
time
is.
to go looking at their particulars at the moment. Hire
gotcha.
a vet.
Hope we're gonna guard him.
Okay, that's the relief.
Everybody run.
So while the
It's
vet
just a
deals with
bonobo.
our bonobo friend, let's go fix up their habitat so they can't escape again.
Yeah,
Head
let's.
back over there.
Okay. Ah, there it is. Here's our collapse.
As you can see, the barrier's collapsed. Someone's taken their eye off the ball, obviously. Let's get this one replaced. Select the barrier and then we'll edit it. Delete the broken section of barrier and replace it with a brand spanking new one.
Done. Got this. This one has a cool top thing, though. I feel like I've replaced it with a different barrier.
Good. Now that we've done that, we need to make sure to add climb-proof barriers to the top. That way the bonobos won't be able to climb out. Just make sure you've got the correct piece of barrier selected when you do
There we go.
that.
That's why they have the cool thing. I don't know how that stops them from climbing, but
Nicely done.
we'll accept
And
it.
I think it's high time we unbox those bonobos, wouldn't you say? The poor mites will get sad if we leave them in there for too long.
Yeah, I imagine they
Select
would.
the habitat barrier to bring up the habitat information panel again.
Yes. Uh-huh. Unbox all animals. Yay! Welcome back, guys.
So, it turns out that as well as the old vet leaving, the zoo's mechanics did too. We'll
Rude.
need to hire a couple of new ones so we can help stop any more breakouts.
Alright.
You see, mechanics do all sorts of helpful things around the zoo, but one of their most important jobs is taking care of the habitat barriers. Without mechanics around to repair them, the barriers will crack, crumble, and fall down. And before you know it, we'll be overrun with escaped animals. Go into the zoo section and then into the staff management area again.
Got it. I'm ahead of you, lady. Alright, so we've got some cash. We're doing good.
Gosh, we have been busy, haven't we? Good work there. I'm off for a cuppa. Oh, I think Bernie wants a word with you.
Okay.
Oh, I hear you had a bit of an issue with an escaped bonobo. The main thing is that you dealt with it swiftly. And more importantly, without the animals stealing someone's clothes, putting them on, and then walking out of the front gate.
Having fun looking at how everything is set up. It looks so cool. Ooh, we have the thing to do over here.
You see, another key responsibility for our vets is animal research. Researching animals allows vets to unlock new enrichment items, additional information for our education resources, enhanced breeding programs, and improvements to food quality. The animals' food, not the vets. It'll take more than a research grant to improve the staff canteen. Anyway, as you can see, research is a key part of running your zoo. In order for a vet to undertake research, they require a research centre. And once again, that's something that this zoo is missing. So let's build one. I've marked out an area for you to put it.
Yes, let's see. Let's get it snug in here. Actually, let's go ahead and edit this group. And then it'll just snap into place.
Now, you've probably noticed that there's already a building where I want you to build the research centre.
Yes.
Don't worry. You see, the building that's currently there is actually a hollow shell.
No
So
way.
we're able to place our new building inside of it. If you select the research centre for placement and then hover over the shell, you'll see that it asks if you want to add the research centre to the existing building.
Pretty much the same thing as we were doing. There we go. It's obstructed. Make sure to connect it to the path.
Okay, click to add it to the building. Oh, but that won't place it in just yet, though. First, we'll need to rotate our research centre so it automatically connects to the path when we place it.
I knew that. I wasn't confused. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. Splendid work. Now that we have a brand spanking new research centre, we can give our vets something to do in there. Oh, by the way, it's worth noting that the vets will only do research when they're not required to do any other jobs. That said, you can change what jobs a vet does via their information panel. But let's not worry about that just now. So, let's get our vet researching ring-tailed lemurs. Go into the zoo section and select Vet Research.
Vet Research. Right here?
Here, you can see a list of all the animals present in your zoo, and also all the potential diseases that can occur. Now, drag and drop your vet onto the ring-tailed lemur to start their research.
We've already finished researching the bonobo. That's what I think this means. So we can see it opens up stats and toys.
Thinking about it, I'm not sure we've got any education boards or speakers by the lemur's habitat. Let's head over there and add some, so our guests can learn all about the furry little delights.
Alright. Under facilities, I think it's getting foggy. Woo, weather! Alright, let's find our lemurs again. But these guys? No, they have boards. So this is what we're placing around. Are these guys? She's highlighted it for me. Silly me. Alright, so here we are. At their area. We need to put some boards and stuff here. I think it's under guest facilities. Aha, here it is. So it's under facilities, and then right here is viewing devices and speakers. So what exactly does she want us to place? Locate the highlighted area. I've done that. They're in it.
First off, let's pop down 2 education boards. Place them on the habitat barriers at a height that guests can see, or, if you like, pop them down on a stand.
Ooh. Turn on align to surface to make placing on the borders easier. Got it. Alright. Oh, I see. Here's a little barrier for us. And then do they have something over here for us to put it on? Oh, yep. There we go.
Okay. Now that they've been put into position, we have to tell them what animal to display information about. Select one of the education boards to bring up its information panel.
Which one are these? Ringtail? Yes? Yeah, they are ring-tailed lemurs.
And from the drop-down list, select ring-tailed lemur. Although I'm sure that last part was obvious.
Rude.
When you link an education board or a speaker to an animal, you need to make sure that said animal is close by. If it isn't, the guests will get confused and won't learn as much.
Yeah, that makes sense. We're like, here's a rhino. It looks like a monkey to me.
Okay, now that we've done the education boards, let's pop down a pair of speakers. Speakers play audio to the guests, so they can learn while they look at the animals, instead of having to go through the laborious process of reading. Oh, one thing to bear in mind is that it's important not to put the speakers too close together. If you do, the guests won't be able to understand what's being said.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Does it want a particular spot? Go ahead and put it behind the sign. Like that. And then one more over here. Oh, there is a speaker right there, though. So, doesn't look like it'll be in the same bubble, though. Okay. Stick it on here, do the same thing, and turn it and put it behind it.
Now we simply need to link the speakers to the ring-tailed lemurs, just like you did with the education boards.
Yes. Grab the speaker. Go ring-tail. And grab this speaker. And
Fantastic. Oh, it's worth remembering that education boards and speakers both need power to work.
Yes.
They won't do much good without it. Oh, it looks as though our vet has completed their research on ring-tailed lemurs.
I wish it was
We'll
that
need to
fast.
collect the results. We can do that by clicking on the notification or by going back into the vet research area.
Ta-da! We've completed some research. We've discovered 3 species. Or 3 items over 1 species.
Go on, collect your research rewards. Just so you know, vets will continue to research an animal even after successfully completing a research level. I suppose when you're in the zone, you're in the zone.
It's me! Here's my little avatar. I'm visiting myself. That's cool.
Well, now that we've enriched the lives of our guests, let's enrich the lives of our ring-tailed lemurs. Some animals, like lemurs, will have a climbing need. That means they have a requirement for a certain amount of climbing space, and you can fulfill that requirement by building them a climbing frame. Let's find out how much more climbing space our lemur friends need, shall we? Select one of them and bring up their information panel.
Right there.
Next, click on the Terrain tab.
Oh, the terrain tab? Oh, this tab.
Now, as you can see, the lemurs need quite a lot more climbing space. But as it happens, I've already got a climbing frame blueprint built for you. So you can either pop that down or build one yourself from scratch. By the way, it's not always just climbing needs that you have to worry about. Other animals might need a certain amount of water in their habitat so they can go for a swim. They certainly do keep us on our toes.
I think I'll place this one for now. And then once we get further in, I'll consider building my own. But I think right here might be a good spot.
Oh, that's a great climbing frame for them. They're going to absolutely love it. Do you know what would make them even happier, though? Nicer food. But that's true of all of us, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can unlock better quality food for animals through research. Luckily, we've already unlocked some for the lemurs, so all that remains is to make sure they get served it from now on. Let's bring up the habitat information panel by selecting the lemur habitat.
You're gonna have to give me a minute here. I want to make sure that this isn't floating. That sounds like an alarm, doesn't it? Go ahead and pause. Is there an escapee somewhere? What's happening? And why are you in a box? Exit. Unbox all animals. There's all of but anybody who's playing the game who is allowed in their settings to visit, you'll see them visiting over here. I don't see any. Like, I think this is where we'd normally see notifications, but I think it's blocked. But it does sound like there's a problem going on somewhere. But let's see what our task is. Set their food quality to quality 2. Connected habitats. Why is there 2 separate habitats? Oh, I see, because it's over the fence. That's actually pretty cool. They can like look at each other through here. Alright, so let's grab part of the barrier that's just
Lovely.
these guys.
Now select the Animals tab.
Yep. Food quality up to 2. Got it.
So, a new climbing frame and better food. Oh, you've really spoilt those lemurs rotten. Now, I think it's time we looked at one of the zoo's most important responsibilities. Releasing animals into the wild. You see, when we feel an animal is ready, we can release them into the wild. But what makes an animal a good candidate for release? Well, their age is an important factor. I mean, we can't release an animal that's a juvenile, just as we can't release one that's gotten too old. They'll also need to be fertile. After all, the idea is to repopulate the wild, so the best candidates will have a high fertility gene. And together, the age and fertility of a candidate will determine how many conservation credits will be rewarded when we release them.
Ooh.
Now, conservation credits are vitally important. They're the lifeblood of your zoo, because earning them allows you to adopt even more animals. And what's more, the animals you can adopt will be of a higher quality. So, with that in mind, let's pop over to our orangutan habitat.
Hello, guys. Your buildings. Oh, they've got like lights along the bottom. That looks really cool.
Okay, I'd like you to find Agang, the Bornean orangutan in the habitat, and select him, please. You can either click through each orangutan in turn, or select the habitat barrier, go to the animals tab in the habitat information panel, and find him in the animals list.
Hey, buddy. Found him. Release to the wild. Ooh, lifespan remaining is a 4-star. Fertility remaining, gene, and conservation status, or just the 2 middle are 5-star, and that one's a 4.5 star. You cannot undo this action, but we can get 1,000 conservation points for getting this guy back into the wild.
I know, it's sad to see him
Hi,
go,
buddy.
but he'll be happy out in the wild. And he's a wonderful candidate for release. Young, strong, and fertile. Excellent work there. You've definitely got potential, you know.
Thanks. Any other little pop-ups? Let's hear what the last thing is that she has to say, and then we will probably end this episode.
Ah, I see you've been doing some homework. Although, it hardly seems like work when you're learning about something as adorable as a ring-tailed lemur. I imagine I'd have got much better grades at school if there'd been less algebra and more aldebra. Tortoises.
Uh-huh. Since we have like hippos and stuff, but I haven't seen anyone besides the monkeys.
Okay, so far we've done a lot of work with habitat animals, but now it's time to learn all about exhibit animals. Let's build a brand new exhibit.
Yay!
I've marked an area for our new exhibit. How about we head over there?
God, this place looks so cool. Like all the little details they have going on here. Oh, it's amazing. All the waterfalls
Lovely.
and
Now
stuff.
let's build a new exhibit in the gap that's been left. Just add it to the building like we did with the research centre earlier, then pop it into the gap.
Ah, so it'll be like this guy. What's in here? Ooh, it's a lizard. You see him? Let's see, can we get a camera on this guy? There he is. He's down in this corner right here. Hi, little guy. But I think that's going to have to be it for this episode. I don't want it to stop playing, but I probably should. So this is the first 2 stars of the second area. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.